All right, it's on to level 2B. And we're starting with a 6 spades. We have a potential spade loser. And a for sure heart loser, so I guess we're going to have to not lose a spade. Clubs are fine, diamonds are fine. This first trick, there's nothing we can do, so let's just get that out of the way. All right. And so we need to not lose a spade. We've certainly got a couple holes here, missing the king and the 10. And so let's consider our possible ways of playing the spades. Ace first can't possibly be right. We can't drop both the king and the 10 by playing the ace. One of those cards must be guarded at least. So other options then are basically leading the queen, leading low to the jack, or leading low to the 9. Let's consider each of those. Leading the queen would work against righty having king or king doubleton. Or king tripleton. I guess leading the queen works whenever righty has the king. King singleton, it's fine, because it would go queen, king, ace, and then the jack would drop the 10 on lefty. King doubleton, it could go... if it's king small, then the queen will pin the 10. If it's queen 10 with righty, or sorry, king 10 with righty, they could cover the queen, but we could still drop the 10. And if they have all three of the cards, then if they let the queen go, we would still finesse against the king or 10 and then come back with a second entry and finesse again. So yeah, queen will work anytime East has the king. And if lefty has the king, the only thing we could possibly do is pick up a singleton king. But that would require that we just played the ace. And we would never know to play the ace. Like if ever East followed, way more likely East has the king with any length than that West has the singleton king. So at a glance, leading the queen looks like the right choice. Is it any different in particular here than leading low to the jack? Low to the jack is actually problematic, right? If righty has all three cards, they could duck when we play low to the jack. They'd be left with king 10. And now we'd have to lead the queen next. They would cover queen, king, ace, and the 10 would be good. So low to the jack looks poor. It looks like we need to lead the queen. And low to the 9 fails on something like singleton 10 with lefty, when leading the queen would have picked that up. So it looks like leading the queen is the right thing to do. And that feels like the most natural. We are missing the 10, which could give you a bit of pause for leading the queen, but because we have so many cards, leading the queen is like very likely to pin a 10 with West, for instance. In a shorter suit, it could be more problematic, or if you're missing the 9 as well, it could be more problematic. Okay. No need to rough anything, so no need to do anything except to get to these spades right away. And it looks like leading the queen is the way to be. It will require that we have a second entry when exactly this happens, that they cover, and now we need to finesse against the 10. But we do, in fact, have that second entry. All right, a good straightforward hard combination problem to start off level 2B. Card combinations are easier to figure out when you have a lot of cards in the suit, because you can actually enumerate all the combinations relatively fast. When you have like an 8-card suit and you're trying to figure out what to do, that can get a little more involved. And I'm sure we'll see some more of that in this level. All right, 7 now. Let's go. Okay, we have 3 spades. A heart is 4. 6 clubs is 10. 2 diamonds is 12 tricks. And we need 1 more trick. Clubs, we're getting everything we can. Diamonds, there's not really any opportunity for more tricks. Given time, you could set up a long diamond, but not if we're in 7 now. That would involve losing at least 1 round of diamonds, at least 2 rounds of diamonds to get a 5th diamond. So, not today. Hearts, of course, we have a finesse for 1 more trick, and in spades we have a possible 3-3 spade split for 1 more trick. Ideally, we would like to combine those chances. Run the top 3 spades first before taking a heart finesse, so we could get the best of both worlds. But this lead is going to cost us our only entry to dummy, or not cost us per se, but we're going to be in dummy now, and it's going to be our last time in dummy because of the singleton diamond in our hand. So we're getting forced to commit to either doing the heart finesse or the spade split now. So this looks like a simple question of probabilities. The important one here is that a 3-3 split is like 36%, I think. Let me get my bridge probability sheet back up because it's always good to have on hand. There's my 3-3, 36%. Yep. I would say that knowing your 3-3 and 4-2 splits and your 3-2 and 4-1 splits are probably the most useful bridge split probabilities, I think. It's good to know the probability of like the best and the second best split in each suit, because the other ones are a lot lower, and it tends to matter somewhat less. Yep, 36% is their chance of a 3-3 spade split, and of course the finesse is 50%. This kind of auction does not tell us anything about anything that's going on, so we should commit to the heart finesse. Since this is our last entry to dummy, we also have to make sure that we do cash the king of diamonds while we're here. And cashing king of diamonds already commits us to a line of play, because we're either throwing away the queen of hearts or the 2 of spades. So, farewell, and good luck to us on the heart finesse. And there we go. We would like to take all our chances, but if we can't take all our chances, we should take our best chances. Reno, and we've got a bunch of tricks in our own hand. That bodes well. That's 1 spade, a heart is 2, 4 clubs is 6, 2 diamonds is 8, and we need 1 more trick. Clubs and spades, nothing else is coming. In hearts, we could get a trick on a double finesse. We would lead up to that ace-jack, and then the ace-10 twice. As long as lefty has 1 of the honors, but a 75% chance, then we will get an extra trick. In diamonds, a 3-3 split will give us an extra trick. And, 3-2 split rather. And the chance of, as we saw, a 3-3 split on the previous hand, the chance of that is 36%. The chance of a 3-2 split in an 8-card suit is 68%. So actually better than 50%. Less than 75% though. If we had to choose between these, the double finesse in a vacuum is better than playing for a 3-2 split here. Both of these options involve losing a trick. In diamonds, the safe thing to do would be to duck a trick first a lot of the time, and then play ace king. Um, that way, if the suit's not splitting, which you'll find out when you duck and play the ace, you still have a stopper. As you go to move on to something else. Is there any particular way to combine those? Give enough timing, we could try both, but they are attacking spades, so we're already going to have a bit of an issue. One nice thing to note is that this 6 is the lowest outstanding spade spot that we can see. So it's pretty likely to be 4th best. We can make sure this auction doesn't incentivize. This auction does kind of incentivize a spade lead. So West could very well be leading from 3 spades instead of from 4. That would be a reasonable choice. Even if they had like 4 hearts, they might lead from a 3-card spade suit. So we do have a hold up available in spades, but only 1 round. A lot of the times when we've held up, we've had ace third, but when we have ace doubleton, we can only hold up once. And that means we can't hold up against a 5-3 split, because we can't take the ace on the 3rd round. We can only stop a 6-2 split. And that's not super helpful. On this auction, I'll sure bet you that no one's got 6 spades. Both people had a pretty good, both East and West, had a pretty good chance to get in here with a 2-spade or a 1-spade bid if they had 6 spades. Spades seem likely to be 4-4. 3-3 is possible. 6-2 very unlikely, and so a holdup doesn't look like it would help. I'm not sure it would hurt in particular. If they switch suits after we held up, that'd actually probably be quite ideal. That would leave us with a spade stopper, and they would have to either give us a club, which just gives us tempo for having a spade stopper, or they play hearts or diamonds for us, which already sounds kind of useful. On that ground, I guess, holding up once is actually fine in case the opponent somehow talk themselves into a switch. I don't think that'll happen here. So what are we actually going to do? I think we're going to have to hope that spades are 4-4, because getting a trick in either red suit means giving up at least 1 trick to the opponents. So we have to hope they're only getting 3 spades, and then 1 red trick, whichever suit we decide to attack. And so it does look like it's going to be a straight-up choice between this double finesse and the diamond split. As we said, the diamond split is 68% for 3-2. And the double finesse is about 75%, or it's like just shy, like 74% for double finesse. Close to 75, of course, because the 50% chance that West has one of the honors, 50% chance that West has the other of the honors, and so together only roughly a 25% chance that they have neither. It's not exactly 25% because once you give one person an honor, it decreases the chance ever so slightly that they have the other honor. But all right, I think the practical thing to do here would be to hold up once, just in case the opponent somehow decide to switch, or if spades actually were 6-2. There's no way the hold up can cost, as far as I can see, so might as well give it a shot. I suppose one thing to consider is that we could play a bunch of clubs before making our decision, but I don't think that's likely to affect anything. It's worth noting that if we're going to play on hearts, we will need 1 more entry back to our hand, because we're going to have to do the finesse twice. But we have the ace of diamonds. So I suppose we may as well play out the clubs. But I don't really expect to learn anything useful. Like, we would need to find something like, if someone pitches a diamond, or if someone pitched, 2 diamonds, imagine. That would be interesting news. The heart discard isn't very telling. And the spade discard certainly is no information at all. So, okay. Heart finesse just looks like the right choice. And we do have to hope that the spades are 4-4. And our intention was to try this finesse again, so we must try it again. And there we go. Yeah, just a again, basically a straight up choice between a 75% chance and a 68% chance. Both quite good, but one is a little bit better. And it's maybe non-obvious that the suit where you're missing king queen is the better choice than the one where you're missing only the queen jack. I should say queen jack 10, because the presence of the 10 of hearts is very important. Without the 10 of hearts, this double finesse line doesn't exist. Without the 10 of hearts, we would have to have lefty having both of the heart honors rather than just one. So a mere 25 or 24% chance. 6 spades. So we do have a spade loser. Even if spades are 3-2, our spade spots are very poor, and we'll have to lose a spade. Hearts are fine, diamonds are fine, and in clubs we'll have to be a little bit careful. Because we do have, what we technically call 3 club losers. Though of course we do have some ways to get rid of them. This hand is, we have a 4-4 spade split, so you could also count losers from the other hand. In which case we would say 1 spade, 2 hearts, no clubs, and 1 diamond. So 3 red losers instead of 3 black losers. I don't know if it'll make too much of a difference on this hand. I think typically if you have the same length in trumps in both hands, counting losers from the hand that's more distributional tends to be a little bit nicer. So I think we'll probably stick with that unless we see a reason not to. How will we get rid of these club losers? We can't afford any of them because we are going to lose a spade. We don't really have any option of getting extra winners in hearts or diamonds. So it sure looks like we need to rough/establish the club suit. If clubs are 3-3, a single club rough will suffice. King of clubs, ace of clubs, rough a club. And the clubs will be good. But if clubs are 4-2, we will need 2 club roughs to establish the suit. And we have the timing for that. We've got entries back to our hand. We could do it. Of course, the problem, if clubs are 4-2, then someone is absolutely in position to rough on the 3rd round of clubs. So this might look actually quite a bit like a hand we saw previously, where if we were to draw as much trump as we could, like if we drew the ace and king of spades, only 1 defender would be left with the spade. Or left with any spades. It could split 4-1. And that gives us more safety when roughing the clubs. Drawing 2 spades, at a glance it seems okay, because we only need 2 spades in dummy to rough if clubs are 4-2. We actually already have to assume that spades are 3-2, otherwise we'd have a second spade loser. So we'll assume spades are 3-2. So drawing 2 rounds of trump leaves 1 defender with 1 spade. If clubs are 3-3, then we're not going to have a problem anyways, because nobody can rough that 3rd round. And if clubs are 4-2, then we'll have to hope that the person with the winning spade has 4 clubs. Oh, is that true? Actually, that's not really an issue, is it? Because we don't even mind if they roughed the 3rd round of clubs with the winning spade, because that's a trick they were going to get anyways. Yeah, I don't think that's even a problem. Maybe this line is actually 100% if spades are 3-2 and clubs aren't worse than 4-1. I suppose a possibility is like 5-0 clubs. And we have to rough 3 times, which we don't even have the entries for. Oh, we kind of do. It'd be ace of hearts, because we king of clubs, ace of clubs, rough. We have to come back to our hand 3 times to rough. That's king of hearts, king of diamonds, and then maybe like a red suit rough. But that sounds like we'll have a lot of handling problems. I think we're going to try to protect against 4-1 clubs. In which case, 2 spades in dummy will suffice. So let's make sure that only 1 defender has spades, which is the case now. We don't know who, but only 1 person has it. King of clubs. Ooh, one thought comes to mind, which is if the person with one club has the last spade, we wouldn't mind them trying to rough one of our low clubs, but roughing one of our high clubs would be unfortunate. Um, the only way around that I see is actually guessing which of the king or ace to play first. And I see no particular reason to do one way or the other. So I'm concerned about the potential that this ace of clubs gets roughed. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we had any particular way to protect against that from happening. Okay, but yeah, clubs are going well. 4-2 at worst. We certainly can't knock out the master trump because if clubs are 4-2, we need to rough twice. So no touching the spades. We don't mind now if somebody roughs. Because we don't have a spade to rough with. As always, our favorite game, how to get back as safe as possible. We have 6 hearts and 5 diamonds, so diamonds look safer. I suppose a diamond was discarded. I don't think that. I guess that maybe equalizes the two suits. There's an equal number of diamonds missing now in each suit. Or sorry, equal number of cards missing in each of the red suits. But yeah, I don't. I suppose if they were trying to drop a diamond. Oh, it's also not so much of an issue because if they do rough as we like, if righty is the one to rough as we come back, they're owed that trick anyways, and we would suddenly have an extra winner in that suit we could use to drop a club. So, oh, sorry, that's yeah, I think that's right. That seems fine to me. I don't think it's a concern anyways. All right, and we set up the clubs, and so they still have a high trump, which they can take whenever. We'll just take winners, and whenever they want their high spade, they can have it. But clubs is the winner now. All right, they'd like to take it now. Go for it. Ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, and the last 2 spades. All right, 6-0. One of the reasons there's not a lot of part scores in Bridgemaster um, is they're more finicky. They're definitely scrappier than games and slams. You tend to have a lot more possible lines, and so it's hard to set up hard to teach a very particular point when there's like lots of different lines. There's certainly some artificiality some of these problems. But they do teach a lot of good concepts. All right, 6-0. That's 2 spades. 4 hearts is 6. 3 clubs is 9. 2 diamonds is 11. We need one more trick. Can't really come from spades. Hearts, we're getting everything. Can't really get anything in diamonds, so it sure looks like clubs is the way. How could we play clubs to maximize the chance of getting a trick? If clubs are 3-3, we can just bang down all the clubs. Cool. If clubs are 4-1, we could. Oh, sorry, 4-2. We could bang down all the clubs. Ace, king, queen, give up a club. We can afford 1 loser, and the clubs are good. So that means the interesting case is clubs are 5-0. What can we do in that case? If righty had all 5 clubs, I don't think there's anything we can do about that. But if lefty has all 5 clubs, then we could actually lead up to the 10 and set up the 10 for a trick. Lefty either plays the jack and then we have 4 club tricks, or they duck the jack and then we have the 10 plus the ace king queen, 4 club tricks. Given that we're totally fine losing a club, and nothing bad can happen when we lose a club, we've got double stoppers everywhere. Yep, it looks like leading up to the 10 first is the way to go. And yeah, it should guarantee us our contract, except in the case where righty has 5 clubs. And I don't think anything can help us in that case. Hey. It's possible we are giving up a trick doing this, of course. But we are here to make contracts. And now everything is just good. And we'll play the cards from left to right. Okay. Free now. We have 3 heart tricks, 3 club tricks is 6, a diamond is 7. This lead necessarily sets up a spade for us, so that'll be 8. And we will need 1 more trick. Won't really come in hearts. Diamonds, you could get an extra trick, but it would have to be a 4th round diamond. And spades don't look like they're nearly strong enough to support us playing off a bunch of rounds of diamonds. Whereas clubs looks like there's a lot of potential for a trick. We have 8 clubs, so of course they could just split 3-2. We could bang down all the clubs. But we're also only missing the jack. So if we were to just give up a round of clubs, they would just all be good. And that sounds pretty appealing. Just because we're getting this king of spades right now doesn't mean we're actually going to have a spade stopper later, though. Let's take a look at what happens here. Yeah, so no aces played. And if no aces played, that means that we are in some danger of losing a bunch of spade tricks if East is able to lead through this queen of spades. We have a positional stopper in spades. And as usual, if we have a positional stopper, then we have a danger hand, which is East, and we have a safe hand, which is West. West cannot attack spades productively from their side. So if we need to lose a trick, we should aim to lose that trick to West. And we have quite a good way of productively losing a trick to West. Yeah, like I said, these clubs are so good that we could just give up a club and they'd all be good to go. So if given that would guarantee our contract, why don't we do that? And we could absolutely give up a trick and control who wins it. If we wanted righty to win a trick, we could play the ace of clubs and run the 10. If we want West to win the trick, we could play low from dummy to the 10 right away. Though there's a bit of a... Oh, nope, no issue. I was thinking we need 2 entries for that, and we actually already got one on this trick. So we're in dummy now. We could play low to the 10, and then we'll need to take some care to unravel the clubs, because doing that will block the club suit. But we do have the entries to get to this hand, play the ace of clubs, get back to dummy. It'll take a bit of untangling, but if you work through the combinations, it looks like no lead that they return after we give them a club trick will hurt. So let's say we play a club to the 10. If they lead a spade, that's fine. We win the spade, unblock the clubs, we're good to go. If they lead a heart, we'll have to be careful to win this in our hand, blocking the heart suit. By the ace of clubs, the queen of spades, unblock the hearts, play the clubs, back to diamonds to play the hearts. That's the most interesting version. And if they lead a diamond back, we win the diamond, ace of clubs, queen of spades, queen of hearts, all the clubs, back to the hearts. So there's enough entries going on that we can disentangle all these blocked suits. So yeah, we have a 100% line of play. which is giving up a quite possibly unnecessary trick to West to establish the clubs. And now nothing they can do will hurt. I actually expected them to return a heart in Bridgemaster, because that seemed like the finickiest line of play as far as disentangling all the suits. Alright, unblock clubs. Over to the heart. Play all our good clubs. Keeping in mind that the Queen of Spades is not a winner. For what it's worth. And we do, in fact, have an overtrick. Not too bad to give an unnecessary trick to get overtricks. As you can see, these clubs aren't splitting. If we were to play the... well, okay. In this layout, the jack falls. But I promise, if we tried to play the ace, queen, king of clubs, righty would have shown up with a 4 to the jack. Six spades. A potential spade loser, if we are unlucky enough to have 4-0 spades. A heart loser. Clubs are good. And we have a diamond loser. So there are a few losers abounding at the moment. In hearts, we can't directly ruff a heart, but we do have enough clubs in our hand to pitch a heart from dummy, which would then let us ruff a heart. So it's kind of like using an extra winner, but in the long hand. Diamonds, sure, those diamonds could set up, but that would require like ace of diamonds, ducking a diamond, an entry to ruff a third diamond, then another entry to use the diamonds, and there's just not enough entries to the north hand for that. So the diamond loser looks like the one that is problematic and hard to get rid of. But as long as spades aren't 4-0, we can just pitch a heart from dummy and ruff a heart. I don't see much we could do if spades are 4-0, because I don't see any way of getting rid of this diamond loser. Okay. And we'll probably have a little bit of talk about safety in a moment. Diamond loser looks pretty unavoidable. But also I don't see any reason to duck it. We want to ruff a club, or so not ruff a club, we want to ruff a heart. That means we will need a spade in dummy, but not more than that. So it looks prudent to play 2 rounds of spades. That might render the hand completely safe, because spades can be 2-2. But if they're not 2-2, that will eliminate spades from one person's hand, which will, half the chance of a 3rd round club ruff. So we'll be able to play 3 rounds of clubs. And, they could be 6-2. There may not have... The remaining clubs aren't very good, so neither person may have bid clubs with 3 clubs, or with 6 clubs. So yeah, the prudent thing to do would be to cash 2 rounds of spades first. Alright, lefty still has a spade. Otherwise, that's the ace of hearts. 3 rounds of clubs pitching a heart. And then a ruff. I suppose one other danger, actually, is that we still do have to get back to this hand to ruff a spade. I wonder if we could have done something more safe. It could turn out that drawing 2 rounds of trump was actually not quite as safe as drawing 1 round. Because drawing 1 round would have left us a spade at this point. Get back to our hand. We've certainly seen a couple hands previously, or at least one, but I think a couple, where not having a trump entry at the time where you want to draw trump can be annoying. So let's see. I can certainly envision a danger of like East winning this and then playing a club. Club discard. Oh, okay. Um, we can't afford to ruff with the queen. We just have to hope that this spade holds up, and it may not, and it doesn't. Okay. Put that one in the wrong column. Yeah, I think I've overestimated the safety of drawing 2 rounds of trump. So yeah, good consideration. How many rounds of trump can we draw? What is actually the maximally safe number of rounds of trump? 1 is definitely better than 0. Because yeah, we could run somebody out of trump if Trump was splitting 3-1. But it's so awkward to get back to our hand. In particular, we had to play like essentially 3 rounds of diamonds to get back to our hand. And at that point, somebody's definitely out of diamonds. So that is a big problem as far as a potential ruff. Okay, so I think then our safest approach is 1 round of spades. But after we ruff, we have a safe way to draw the rest of the spades. I'll take a look at the solution for this one. Definitely, anytime I get it wrong, I'll definitely look at the solution and see what they have to say about it. Okay. Because the chance, when we play 3 rounds of diamonds in the other way, the chance that the person who's out of diamonds has the last spade is like 50-50. There's a big chance of that ruff happening. Whereas the chance that the 3rd round of clubs gets ruffed in a world where we've only drawn 1 round of trump is definitely less than 50%, because it already requires like a 6-2 club split. So yeah, that already I think makes this the clearly correct line to draw just 1 round of trump. All right, a good lesson. Safety in moderation. And so let's see what they have to say about that. Yeah, we have a loser in hearts and diamonds. Gotta ruff that heart loser. After discarding a heart on the club. True. East Jack might be a singleton. That's true. South should time his plays that East will not be able to lead diamonds through South's trump holding. I didn't quite think about what the Jack lead could be, but it's true. It could be a singleton. After running the opening lead, draw just 1 round of trump. Indeed. Yeah, ace of hearts. 3 rounds of clubs for a heart discard. And rip a heart. And importantly, it leaves us with a way back. North still has a trump remaining, so South can easily draw the trump. Notice that if South had drawn another round of trump earlier, he would be forced to leave the diamond from the dummy. It's true. My line of drawing 2 rounds of spades is actually worse than drawing no rounds of spades. Yep, and that would be very unfortunate. Trump promo. Alright, some nice spades. Though we do still have a spade loser, a heart loser, a club loser, and a diamond loser. So 4 losers, we can afford 3. Let us find a way to get rid of one of them. We surely aren't ruffing hearts, clubs, or diamonds. So it looks like we'll need extra winners, and hearts looks like a source of extra winners. There are no extra winners available in clubs or diamonds. So, of course, if we are able to give up 2 rounds of hearts, then we will have a heart winner. Also, roughing finesse is possible. But it's worth pointing out that finesse may not be necessary because the hearts are just solid. And it may, in fact, come down to a decision between roughing a heart versus not roughing a heart. We want multiple entries to these hearts, so it looks like we should win this first trick in our hand. So probably want to play a heart, which might lose. We need to get up to a heart with one entry to run the hearts again to set them up, and then another entry to actually get to them. So it looks important that we win this in our hand. Are we allowed to draw trump? Big problem there is the defenders might force us to use one of our entries, one of our side entries before we want to. So I don't think we should touch trump just yet. Heart first. And there's no benefit to leaving that heart from dummy versus from our hand. Like there was no roughing finesse yet. Okay, and that lost to the ace. Right. I was paying attention. Yep. Okay, and they make us use this entry. And since they've made us use this entry, we'd better play hearts while we're here. And so we're going to play a heart. And there is technically a choice. If we thought East had... if we thought West was going to play the King of Hearts now, we would rough. But in general, that's... that would be relying on a Doubleton Heart. Doubleton King of Hearts from West. A very specific holding. And a very unlikely holding, given that Ops had 8 hearts. So much better to just throw away one of our losers here. If East has the King of Hearts, then that loser's gone. Cool. And if they don't have the King of Hearts, West will win, and we'll have some good hearts set up. So let's just throw a loser. All right. And they are forcing us to use our last entry. We sure would like to have drawn trump at some point, but we've been forced to play hearts at every opportunity because they are making us use our entries. We're not going to get another entry back. In particular, these spades are just too weak. If only this was the 6 of spades and this was the 5, we would have an entry. But here we are. So we better use the heart. And it looks like we're good to go. And it doesn't matter how badly these are splitting. I guess I could have called this out, but they only have 3 spades. So King, Queen, Jack will be quite sufficient. Or just one spade loser. All right, yeah. We sure would have liked to have drawn trumps for safety if we were able to at any point. But as long as we keep track of the entries that we need to do what we're trying to do, we will see that we must play hearts every time one of our entries gets used. And we'll just have to hope that the third rounds of hearts stands up. Which is quite likely. Hearts have to be 6-2 for that not to work. The Reno. Diamond suit looks nice, but maybe not if partner brings us nothing in the suit, but let's see. 2 spades, 2 hearts is 4, a club is 5, a diamond is 6. So we're going to need 3 more tricks. Hearts could give us 1 more, but that's not enough. Still need more. And that would involve losing a heart, which means losing our spade stopper, which is a little bit scary. Diamonds, what have we got? So we have 8 diamonds that are very weak, compared to 7 clubs that are very good. I guess worth considering the relative value of those suits. Diamonds would provide us with the extra 3 tricks we needed if they were 3-2. But that involves losing 2 rounds of diamonds. We can only win one of those first 3 rounds. And losing diamonds twice means they're going to run spades. Because we have to knock out 2 diamond stoppers, they have to knock out 2 spade stoppers, and they're already ahead in the stopper knocking out race. The diamonds doesn't seem particularly viable. It looks more like we should be trying to play clubs for one loser. And if we had 2 clubs in our hand for 2 club finesses, like move the 7 of clubs down to our hand, the best thing to do would be to finesse to the 10 first. That would give us the most chances. We'd win whenever lefty had a club honor. But it's a little different potentially when we can only do 1 finesse. So it looks like we should, consider our choices in clubs, which are basically 2 to the ace, 2 to the queen, 2 to the 10. 2 to the ace right away just sounds terrible because we're not even trying to finesse anything. We like gain nothing except I don't know, East has a singleton king of clubs. Doesn't sound great. 2 to the queen. If that if either of the finesses works, we're not necessarily likely good to go. I feel a little bit careful about that. Because they could still be holding on to the king jack, and they might still have 2 club tricks even after a finesse works. So yeah, let's consider the options. Low to the queen. If that holds, so lefty has the king. We would be good to go as long as righty had singleton or doubleton jack. Because the queen would hold, the ace would drop the jack. Actually, or 3 to the jack is fine. If clubs are 3-3, low to the queen that holds is okay. We play the ace next, then we drop the remaining clubs on the next round. So low to the queen works whenever lefty has the king, and righty has 1, 2, or 3 clubs with the jack. Or 1 or 2 clubs with the jack, or 3 clubs without the jack, because it doesn't matter if they have the jack or not when it's 3-3. That picks up a decent amount of combinations. Any 3-3, as we saw, was like 36%. Any, and then 2 of the jack, 1 of the jack is a little bit more. If the queen loses, we're also still not out of it, because if somebody has the doubleton jack at that point, the ace would drop it, and we'd be good to go. So those are combinations that work with the queen finesse. Low to the 10, if that holds, we would need, again, 3-3 clubs. So we play the ace, then we knock out the clubs. Or we would need like a doubleton king. But that would have to be with lefty. And we would have, if they had doubleton king and the 10 held, they must have had exactly king jack. So it'd work with king jack with lefty, or any 3-3. If the 10 loses, we'll still need like a doubleton king. So I think low to the queen is just like just slightly better. Not sure if I've like fully articulated why. Perhaps I should run through that one more time. So low to the queen holding. Either finesse holding wins against 3-3 clubs, because we get one trick and then the other. And the chance of the 10 holding is less, because it could lose to the jack or the king, whereas the queen can only lose to the king. So that might be the succinct way of looking at which of these is better. In general, if you can only do 1 finesse, it tends to be right. I think I'm right in saying that it tends to be right to actually take the shallow finesse. Deeper finesses usually give you an advantage, but only if you can take them multiple times. So in general, with only 1 finesse, the shallow one tends to be the right choice. Because we could play up to the queen and we could pin a jack, whereas if we play up to the 10, we can't like pin a king. So yeah, I believe low to the queen looks like the right choice. Okay, low to the queen. And then we need the ace to drop an honor. Or for clubs to be 3-3. Either way would work. If clubs are 3-3, we're going to play ace of clubs in the club, and we're good to go. If the ace drops an honor, doubleton, then we're also good to go, because we'll only lose the other honor. So ace of clubs drops an honor. And we're good to go. We can see that low to the 10 would have failed if righty had this doubleton jack. And there are the club tricks we need. And I think an over trick, right? Yep, looks like it. It'd be worth taking a look at their solution because, again, whenever I enumerate card combinations, I always get the sense that there might be a more succinct explanation than what I've given. Must play on club, skip to 9 tricks. Alright, don't even bother talking about the diamonds. Those should play a club towards dummy. This follows low. We decided which club to play from north. Yeah, the club A should not be considered. I agree. The choice is between the club or the 10. Or yes, anything equivalent to the 10. Clubs are 3-3. The queen works when West has the king. The 10 will work when West only has the jack. Those are the same. If both club honors are together, South's choice is irrelevant. True. As we said, like if one of these finesses wins, then we're good to go on 3-3 clubs. If East has 4 clubs, it doesn't matter what South does. True. They're going to have 2 tricks coming. If West has 4 clubs to the jack, South cannot succeed. Also true. The 10 could lose to the king, but then we'd get the ace. Oh, we get the ace and the queen, and they would get the 4th round. They'd get 2 club tricks. But if they have 4 clubs to the king, then we actually can succeed with the queen. Yeah. So yeah, there's the delta between those 2 options. Is the queen picks up 4 clubs to the king in lefty's hand, which is like the one extra thing that it does. But yeah, I think my shortcut for this would be, if we can only take one finesse, the shallow one tends to be right. I should take that back a little bit. If each finesse is against one card, like we saw an example where we had Ace Jack 9 in one hand that we were finessing towards, and the prudent thing to do there with only one finesse was low to the 9. And that's because low to the 9 would succeed in one try if the 10 was on the left, whereas low to the jack, a double finesse, only succeeds if you like actually get a chance to do it twice. So assuming your finesses are of like your tennises are of equal width, and you only have one chance to finesse, then I think the shallow finesse is the right choice. Okay, 4 spades. I missed the auction. Oh, and the auction is potentially relevant. Lefty has doubled, and East has picked clubs. East may have no strength at all on this auction, but Lefty should have something resembling an opening bid, and typically shortness in spades, but modern styles are a little bit more aggressive. But this is 1995 or so software, so yeah, probably can imagine some classical double here. See if that's relevant. Whenever the ops have shown a good amount of high card points, I do like counting up high card points to see how many they might have. So our hand has 16, and dummy has 8. That's 24, and lefty should have around 12. I give it a little bit less. But of the 16 high card points owned by their side, West will have a hefty majority. That may or may not be relevant. Ready typically won't have room for much more than an ace. But let's see where we're at. We have no spade losers. We have 2 heart losers, 2 club losers, and a diamond loser. That is 5 losers to contend with. We're not roughing hearts, and we're not roughing clubs. But we do have a very nice diamond suit. So that sounds pretty cool. Diamonds could provide 3 extra winners. Right, I guess four extra winners. We lose the first round, we've got 4 more. I can take care of all the minor or all the rounded losers. We could make 6 spades on this hand, losing just a diamond. Oh, sorry, that's not true. The club losers are about to be exposed, so if we give them a diamond, they'll take the clubs. It looks to me like we may make this hand only because the ops did not find the best lead. We sure would like to have the Ace of Hearts as an entry after we've set up the diamonds. So it's nice they haven't knocked that out right now. How many entries do you think we need to set up and actually play these diamonds? Worth taking a moment to consider. You could think that we just need 1. We play the King of Diamonds, it loses to the Ace, and then 1 entry is good to play all the diamonds. But who says ops are taking the Ace of Diamonds on the first trick? It's true, it might happen a lot of the time, but given that taking the Ace of Diamonds obviously sets up a bunch of diamonds and dummy, there could be a lot said for not taking the Ace of Diamonds. As you'll notice, if they don't take the Ace of Diamonds, we still have 4 losers to contend with, even if they give us a diamond trick for free. So it does put some pressure on. And if that's the case, we're going to need 2 entries to play diamonds. And luckily, we do have a second entry. We have the Jack of Spades. That means we should make sure not to blow the Jack of Spades before we've got diamonds going. I'm imagining it will be safe to play 1 round of spades. But I've been wrong about that before. Maybe it could be a problem. Yeah, let's imagine what's the bad case. Let's say we play Ace of Clubs, Ace of Spades, King of Diamonds, and they duck. Oh, then we just play the Jack of Spades right away. Which does leave us with no spades and dummy for transportation. We play another diamond. We're pitching some losers. They probably take the ace. They could then play the heart up to our Ace of Hearts. We'd have to play all of our diamonds without playing any spades. I think they can basically force us to take our diamonds before attacking spades anyways, so I think it's safe to play 1 round of spades. We have seen where that could have been a problem before. I don't mind if they play a spade after we knock out the... If they were to take Ace of Diamonds and play a spade, that'd be fine, because we'd have entries. Alright, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play 1 round of spades. Alright, King of Diamonds, and let me guess, they don't take it. Alright. Definitely seems sensible to use the spade entry over the heart entry, since it draws more trump. And in particular, somebody must be able to trump at this point, regardless of how trumps are splitting. And that seems potentially beneficial. So let us set this up. And there is a choice to rough potentially. Every time we see this roughing finesse, we kind of I'll say, we have this choice of roughing in case the ace is about to drop. But we don't. If the ace is about to drop, we could also just be pitching a loser. Like there's basically no reason at all to rough. Just throw losers away. Even if it turns out you could have roughed, you'll be fine. Okay. So we do still have 3 losers left, and we can only afford 2. We don't have any way to get to our hand to draw the rest of the trump, and we wouldn't have even if I hadn't, or wouldn't have wanted to even if I had left a trump and dummy, because this would be our last entry to the hand anyways. So we're just gonna have to pitch as many of these as we can. And even if they do rough in here, we're still fine. That is the last trump. If it wasn't, we'd probably rough now and draw the last one. But basically, any choice we make now is fine. We could rough and lose 2 hearts, Or we could throw a heart away and lose a spade and a heart. You know, whatever way you feel like doing it. All right, I would say to draw trump that time. Unlikely to be punished for it either way. That was, I think, it was a very, very minor point compared to the main point of the hand of just timing those entries. Though actually, it could be important that we took the spade entry first before the heart entry. I think that's a fair point. Okay, 6 spades. The hearts, clubs, and diamonds are all loser-free. And spades, we do have a potential for 2 losers, because we could lose the king and the jack. So given that the other suits are fine, we can turn our attention to just handling spades for 1 loser, which sounds like another of those safety plays, potentially. Okay, let's figure out some possibilities on how to play these spades. It does seem like another case where we could have one of those win-win finesses of we take a potentially unnecessary finesse, and if it loses, it means the suit's splitting, and that's good news. It's like one of the more natural options that comes to mind is playing ace of spades and then a finesse. And I think that would work anytime lefty doesn't have 4 spades. I guess it wouldn't work against king jack third with lefty either. But yeah, any 3 spades besides the king jack with lefty, or any 3 spades plus with east, ace first and then low will work. Low and then we play as cheaply as possible. Because yeah, we play the ace first, they both follow suit, and then we play low from dummy, and east follows low. Then that's exactly that finesse I was talking about. We either play low and it loses, and trumps are splitting. That's not super clear, right? Because that could lose to the jack, and they might still lose the king. So that's a little bit rough. Maybe playing the ace is a bit too much. It doesn't give up any chance of capturing the king, unless it's singleton. So another option is something like leading the 10 from our hand and letting that run. When it loses to the jack, we'll just basically have to hope that lefty has the king. But it should work like any time lefty has the king. And also when righty has like singleton king. If they have king jack and they play low, then the 10 holds, and now we're in a pretty good spot. So yeah, leading the 10 sounds pleasing. Leading the queen has problems because it loses like a singleton king on the right, whereas leading the 10 wins against singleton king on the right. Though leading a 10 loses to... it doesn't actually lose to singleton jack on the right. Oh, nor does leading a 10 lose singleton king on the right. Sorry, both of those are fine. Leading a queen also does not lose to singleton king on the right, because we could then finesse against the jack by leading 10. Then maybe we'd have like a little bit of a choice, because it could be king jack doubleton with righty. But that's very specific holding. If we led the queen and it went queen king ace, that would be fine. We would just lose 1 trick from there. If we lead the queen and it loses to the king on the right, we would, yeah, then just keep finessing. But it's true we could pick up king jack with east if we knew they had it. So I don't think there's like going to be one play that's strictly better than another in terms of like actually dominating all the options of the other play. Um, so what is actually best? So low from dummy to the 8, like also low to the 10, wins every time East has the Jack. Um, that's like about it. When West has the Jack, there's not too much to say for that. Uh, we'd have a choice of leading the Queen next to finesse against Lefty's King, or playing the Ace drop East's King. Hmm. I don't have like a particularly good shortcut way of thinking about this in mind. A lot of the time, a lot of safety plays do involve cashing an ace first, to avoid against some singleton honors. But it strikes me as a little bit of a problem here. I play low to the 10. Um, yeah, if East has the Jack, we're like totally good to go. And if West has the Jack, we're still alive with a variety of choices, which are like, yeah, leading the Queen or leading the Ace. We win whenever righty has the Jack, or whenever lefty has both honors. Because yeah, we play low to the 10, it loses the Jack. We then lead the Queen through West. Um, that sounds fairly good. Like 50% plus the another 25%. Basically, it's fine unless. Oh, actually, when does this lose? It loses when lefty has the Jack and righty has the King. True. But it does seem like it's about 75%. Um, yeah, ace first and low to the 10 is kind of worse. We can't pick up something like King Jack third with lefty. And given that this is a finesse we can repeat multiple times, going deep sounds like the right choice. We're concerned about entries at all here. I'm intending to go up to dummy and do the spade finesse. But if I need to do further spade finesses, I'm going to do them from my hand. So only one entry to dummy seems like it would be needed. I'd like to not use a diamond entry because, diamonds could be 4-1 and that could expose us to a rough. But I could use one club entry and then untangle the clubs later. Oh, I don't even need to untangle the clubs. Like, I don't even need the king queen of clubs in this hand. So, okay. Pretty sure low to the 10 feels like the right choice to me. But we'll be looking at the solution afterwards to see if that's right. Okay, club entry because it's safer than diamonds. Low to the 10. And when it loses to the jack, my intention is to run the queen next. Playing the ace of spades would work if East had doubleton king, but running the queen works with West having doubleton king or tripleton king or four to the king. So definitely better than playing the ace next. Well, maybe I've done the wrong thing. All right. We can consider some alternatives. The alternatives that come to mind are either running the queen or running the 10 from the south hand. So I think the line I picked was about 75%. Running the queen works anytime West has the king. Because if they cover, then we only lose the jack. If they don't cover, we just keep repeating this finesse. And maybe East wins the jack at some point, but that's fine. And if the queen loses to the king on the right, then again we're okay whenever lefty has the jack at that point. That seems like another 75% line to me. Running the 10 works anytime lefty has the jack. Doesn't also run anytime they have the king, because we'd run the 10, and then if that lost to either honor, we would just keep finessing. That seems like 75% again. Maybe the one benefit of running the queen, actually, is that we can pick up singleton jack on the right, where running the... Oh, running the 10 works in that case, too. Is the right thing to do something like a finesse and then the ace of spades? That feels kind of weird to me. I don't see why I would do that. When I don't find and believe in the solution before looking at it, this is what I usually mark down on my sheet as a very wrong instead of a wrong. So many of these options all look like they're 75% to me. And I'm wondering what actually gives us a small edge. Low to the queen first looks quite problematic because we lose singleton king on the left. Whereas leading the queen and leading the 10, they don't lose to any of these things singleton. Oh, does low to the 10 lose to the jack on the left? Oh, it does. Whereas leading the queen or leading the 10 from our hand, they don't lose to singleton offset honors. Okay, I think that would be the difference. Maybe leading the queen, leading the 10 are actually both fine. And they're just a little bit better than leading low to the 10 or low to the queen. Okay, yeah, I think I could convince myself on that then. My play would have lost to singleton jack. And I guess it loses to doubleton jack too, huh? On offside. Whereas leading the queen 10 basically just works if any honor is on. I don't see a difference between the queen and the 10. Let's run queen. And I would like to be in this hand to keep finessing. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think we found the solution there then. Leading from the south hand never loses to a singleton offset honor, but leading from the north hand can. Or even some doubleton offset honors. Okay. I'm going to mark that one as merely wrong and not very wrong, assuming that my explanation actually turns out to be correct when we take a look at this. We win the heart lead. And our only problem is the lost two trump tricks. This common card combination is often misplayed. Yes, indeed, as you've just seen. Any spade, including the queen of the closed hand. Okay, so yeah, they agree. The queen or 10 are both equivalent. If Westfall is small, we play low. Yeah. East can win cheaply. We just continue that finesse, I imagine. Yeah, I claimed that my line was 75% at my first one, and that wasn't true at all. It required more than righty having either honor. Remember, I'm playing a 4-4 fit missing just the king and jack. For one loser, the best play is to double finesse. That's not a very snappy thing to remember. If it was, maybe I would have remembered it. Because I've definitely seen this problem at least once in the past. Um, yeah, last time I went through all the Bridgemaster problems was sometime in 2019. And I totally did not remember. Alright, I'll leave that one in the just the wrong column. Okay, 6 spades. Aha, a variant, you say. So yet again, hearts, clubs, diamonds, all good. But this time they have given us an extra spade in the south hand. How might this affect our play? It's now more likely to crush some stuff with like an ace of spades lead, for instance. So the same idea still holds, that if we were to lead any spade from the south hand for the double finesse, we would still have that 75% chance. But playing an ace is a little bit more attractive now. Because if we play an ace first, we're actually going to succeed on any 2-2 split. And that sounds nice to start with. The 2-2 split is, I want to say, 48%. 41%. That's about 40%, 50%, 10% for a 2-2, 3-1, or 4-0. Okay. So playing the ace first wins on every 2-2 split. That's like 41%. Of that remaining, about 60%, we're okay if any honor falls. And that's like half of the 3-1 splits. Because in half of the 3-1 splits, that singleton is one of the 2 honors instead of one of the 2 small cards. That's another 25%. So we're up to 66%. And then on the 3-1 split when honor doesn't fall, we're fine whenever it's righty who has the 3 cards. So that's another half of the remainder. So that's actually, we actually succeed on 3/4 of those splits. That sounds like puts us just over. Yeah, so that's what, like 37% of that plus the 41% is like 78%. So ace first, and then finessing if they both follow low. That sounds like an improvement over the original line. Cool. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the best. But if we did something different, if we led the queen of spades and they both followed low, well, then we'd just be good to go because we just play the ace next and be good. If we led the queen of spades and it was lost to East King, we would still have a guess whether to play the ace of spades or to finesse again. And the double finesse line, as we saw, is already worse than this, so playing ace of spades first sounds better. And same thing, if we ran the 10 and it lost to the jack, we would have that same question of what to do next. Again, I believe on this version that with the extra spade, ace first is better. And it's better here with 9 cards than it was with 8 because the chance of dropping an honor is just higher than it was before. Okay. Yeah, let me claim that ace first is the way to be. Oh, one last consideration. But ducking this. All right, my whole point was that if I was to duck this to the jack, I would have a guess on the next round, right? All right. I did ace first, and it worked. I'm going to believe that I've done the right thing. Yeah, that was my like intuition was that ace first would be a little bit better with this. Um, but it looks like a slim margin to me. Like it looks like double finesse is like 74%, and this line that I was calculating out, like 37%. It's like half, like 3/4 of the 3 1s plus all the 2 2s. That's 78%. Oh, it also works on half the 4 O's. If righty has all 4 spades, we'll find out, and we can finesse twice. There's another 5%. So that's like 83% in total. Is a marked improvement, I suppose. I guess one way of putting it is it works whenever righty has an honor, regardless of length. And it works on 2-2 splits where righty has no honors. So that's the extra bit. That's better than the 75% from double finesse. Yeah, let's see how they describe that. Yeah, so holding a 9-card fit missing jack and the king. The correct play is to cash the ace. Remember, when holding a 9-card fit missing just the king and the ace, the correct play is for one loser is to cash the ace and finesse. Yeah, it's not very snappy. The only time this will lose when West has 3 or 4 spades, both the king and the jack. All right, that was very succinct from them. Maybe to the point of not being like most compelling analysis. Hopefully, I provided a bit more color into that. Sorry, 3 no. No one major overcall from East or anything. All right. Okay. We have 2 spades. A heart is 3. 2 diamonds is 5. And we need 4 more tricks. And it sure looks like clubs would provide 4 more tricks. We just knock out the ace of clubs. So this looks like one of those what could go wrong hands. It looks very natural to win the jack of spades. They're giving us a free finesse. But will that cause us any problems? We don't need the jack of spades. We've got all the tricks we need in clubs, so jack of spades is extraneous. So you should be a little bit wary. Be very wary in Bridgemaster, but you should be wary in general. As always, if we're going to use some long suit, we'd better have entries to it. If we let this come around to the jack and we win the jack, oh, I suppose we still will have an entry in spades, because we could play king to the ace. That would work. So maybe it is okay to come around to the jack, as long as we remember later that we're actually going to have to do king to the ace, which so it means that we don't actually gain a trick. Well, maybe that's not fair. We could gain a trick because the defenders may not be on the ball enough to take the ace of clubs on the second round. If they take the ace of clubs on the first round, then we would actually have the ability to untangle the blocked spades. So maybe it's actually fine to let the spades get blocked here, and then we go and play the clubs. The worst thing they can do is grab the ace beyond the first round. Then they leave us a spade, and if they leave us a spade, we just have to be careful to overtake with the ace. And either way, we get 2 spades, 1 heart, 2 diamonds. That's 5 tricks, and then 4 clubs. So yeah, I think it is safe to let this finesse come around. Okay. Right. That's a problem, isn't it? Okay. saw the danger, and then just absolutely didn't see all the danger. All right, tried to get too fancy. This is, of course, a problem. Um, now we actually can't use the ace of spades as an entry when we want to. Because if we duck now, they'll play another spade. If we let that go around to the king, we won't have a side entry to the clubs. And if we take it with the ace, then we'll have taken our club entry or our side entry too early, and good defense will block us out of the clubs. All right, just avoid getting too fancy. Let's do the safe thing. Let's take the king. That is the play that guarantees us that the ace of spades is available later. And we imagine they will take the club on, yeah, not the first round. Okay. One more choice. Are we allowed to take this finesse? Nope. You might imagine that if we take this finesse, if the jack loses to the queen, we don't have a way to use ace of spades as an entry. So nope. That finesse could be costly. Let's not do it. And we take our tricks. All right. Saw the danger, but did not see the extra danger. I should know better. Bridgemaster doesn't let us get away with that. Okay, another 3-0. Superficially a little bit similar, but I don't think this is a variant of that problem. One spade, two hearts is 3, three clubs is 6, diamond is 7. Hearts and diamonds could both be a trick, but it would involve losing a harder diamond, and these spades are under attack. So it looks like we ought to play on clubs. Ducking the spade doesn't look very useful. I'll just hit spades again. Yeah, what can we do in clubs? The normal thing here is just a 3-3 club or 3-2 club split. That'd be fine. Can we pick up some 4-0 club splits? Maybe. The intermediate spots are good. And they're good enough that, if one of the Jack or 10 fell when we played one of the high honors, that might give us a chance to finesse against the other one. That's a bit interesting. Any finesse we did like that, we'd probably have to take it through lefty. We don't have enough clubs in the south hand or enough entries in the north hand to take finesses against long clubs with east. So it looks like playing the ace of clubs first is the right choice. With more side entries and more timing, I would say playing king of clubs first would be best. Because if an honor dropped to either side, it would be likely correct to finesse their partner for the other honor, and we would have a two-way finessing position. We would have the ace-9 down here, and we have the queen-8 up here. But without any entries to the north hand, yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to be reasonable. Oh, also, as I said, the clubs are just too short in our hand to really pick up 4 clubs from east. Oh, that's not true, actually. We only need one finesse in that case. So, play king of clubs. Let's say lefty dropped the jack. We could then go finesse righty for the 10 of clubs. Then, like low to the 9 holds, ace of clubs, back to our hand, play the queen. But it would actually be fine. So yeah, if there was a side entry to the north hand, then I would say king of clubs first would be the right choice. But there isn't. we play king of clubs, we're probably just gonna like trap ourselves in some awkward way. Yeah, we just can't handle 4 clubs on the right. Any reason to duck this? Sure doesn't look like it, as we said. Whether they keep attacking spades or switch to diamonds, we could be in trouble. And unlikely that our hold up helps us against the 7-2 spade split. Yeah, it looks to me that ace of clubs is the right choice, and if righty drops the jack or 10, we should then finesse in clubs rather than play the king queen. But if they don't, then we should just play the king queen. This is using the principle of restricted choice, which I think I've mentioned once before. If somebody plays one of 2 equal cards, it's better than 50% that their partner has the other equal card. Getting into the map on that takes a bit of doing. Okay, ace of clubs. Ready does drop a 10, and so I said in that case our plan ought to be to finesse lefty. It looks like there's a good chance that clubs are 4-1 here. The shorthand version of why this is true is that if East had the Jack 10, like they could have the Jack 10 here, right? You'd expect that they're probably not playing the 10 from their combination. They might. There could be some false carding, but it's more likely to have singleton 10 or singleton Jack than to have exactly doubleton Jack 10. That's the shorthand reasoning. You may or may not find that compelling, which is fine. Principle of restricted choice. Anytime anybody explains it, it always looks like a little bit messy until you actually like really get into all the combinations. Oops. So, not that, you say? I don't suppose any hope that his spades are blocked. Even if they were, I'd have a hard time coming to another trick. Nope, not today. Okay. So, not the point, you say? What could we do differently? We sure could play the ace, king, queen just straight up. But I'm pretty sure that's not the right choice when East drops the 10 or jack. Maybe restricted choice doesn't really apply if it wouldn't be costly for them to play those cards. Now I'm kind of just rambling. I'm pretty sure my alternate line of playing king of clubs first is quite poor. I'm also like pretty sure that level 2 bridge master just playing the top clubs like isn't the right choice. I guess let's poke around a bit. And we can explore the lines that I don't think should work. So low decking of clubs, the idea is that you might find somebody dropping the 10 or jack, and then you'd like to finesse their partner. Oh, I guess when this happens, it actually does let us cash another round of clubs. Well, that's not true, because if I wanted to finesse against lefty, I really couldn't. I can't afford to play the ace of clubs and then run the 9. Lefty just ducks the 9, and I can't get to the winning clubs. Like, this will happen to work if East happens to have Jack 10 doubleton, but I mean, so would the general plan, just banging down the ace queen, ace king queen. Yeah, and so they don't have the Jack, which is exactly why I finessed their partner for the Jack on the first time. Okay, so yeah, that line, they're not a big fan of that. Seems good to me. We do need 5 club tricks. There just isn't enough timing to get a trick out of hearts or diamonds. I'm going to assume that holding up in spades is not what they want me to do. Like, there was nothing interesting in the auction, right? It's true that it wouldn't hurt, I guess. You know, I could hold up in spades, and then I could see the 10 drop, and then I could finesse the 9. But, okay, as expected. That's not what they're interested in. Are there any other interesting ways of playing these clubs? I suppose there's like the tiniest amount of discovery we could do by playing up the red suits. You know, we could duck this spade just so we could see 2 rounds of spades. All right, they fall to 2 rounds of spades. We test some hearts. They fall to 2 rounds of hearts. Play a diamond. They fall to diamonds. And as expected, that was very unenlightening. We've learned literally like nothing to suggest that either person is long in one suit or the other because they've just followed suit to everything. I don't think that's going to inform our decision. You know, to try this. I assume if I play the king, they're just going to show up. Yep. Oh. Maybe that informs a better line. Okay. Yeah, maybe I can just improve on the line that I was trying. I did find that inspiring. Let's see. So sure, ace of clubs. And ready shows the 10. We should certainly be suspicious that clubs are not splitting well, and a finesse might be required. But do we have to commit to that finesse right now? And we don't. We could play one more round of clubs, then come back to our hand, then do the finesse. That will protect us against exactly this Jack 10 double 10 on the right. We won't have to guess in that case. If righty does show out, then we'll have the finesse available. A concern maybe is blocking the clubs. If I was to play 2 to the king and come back and then play the 9, they could just like let me duck it and I'd be stuck in this hand. But I think I need to play 9 to the king so I could take the finesse and be in the north hand. Okay. To do that, it turns out that they are in fact out. Clubs are 4-1. Back here. And now that finesse is just marked. Okay. So I just needed an improvement on my normal line. That's more like it. Okay, let me indeed mark that one up as wrong. But we did solve it. In the end. What do you have to say about that? Imagine it'll largely be as I've said. They do indeed duck a round of spades for fun. Yeah. If clubs are 3-2, the contract will make easily. Yep. If each has 4 more clubs, there is no hope. True. West has 4 clubs, Jack and 10. Yeah, we can't take we can't really do this without jeopardizing some other things. Like to handle Jack 10. Well, I mean, I guess like you saw, my initial line of taking the ace and running the 9 does jeopardize the contract when the clubs were 3-2, when righty had the Jack 10. But yeah, if they have only one of the Jack or 10, we can be careful. And yes, as we saw, we do have to play 9 of clubs early. If South saves the club 9 until the 3rd round, we can't do the finesse. We had the finessing position, but the clubs are blocked. Yep. As we saw. A possibility. Oh yeah, sure. We could unblock the 9 in the first round. Instead of playing the ace of clubs, we could play 9 to the king. That would be fine. Both ways will work. The point is just to leave ourselves a good finessing position against lefty after 2 high clubs have been played. So I played ace of clubs in the 9. We could just as easily play 9 of clubs to the king and then the ace. The point is just to give us that finessing position on the third trick at the time where we could actually use it and know that it was correct to use it. Okay, last one for this first half of level 2B. We have a 3 diamonds bid from righty. Could well be relevant. Tends to show 7 diamonds, which would mean lefty has a singleton diamond. That's definitely worth being aware of. And we are in 6 hearts. Okay. We have an unavoidable heart loser. And then in addition to that, we have a spade loser and some diamond losers. So we should probably count losers from the north hand because it has more trump. So 1 heart loser, 1 spade loser, 2 diamond losers. One's covered by the ace, but then we have some more to deal with. We have an extra winner in clubs, which could be used to pitch something from the north hand. But yeah, we need to avoid all the pointy losers. All right. At a glance, that might seem a bit problematic. If we use the ace-king, if we use the king of clubs to pitch a spade, there's still diamond losers. If we were to pitch a diamond, well, there'd still be a diamond loser and a spade loser. So which of those is better, if, at all correct? And what's useful to see is that we have another source of extra winners in the south hand, and that we have these spades. This king of spades lead is helpful because it's going to help us set these spades up faster than if there wasn't that lead. And in particular, we should also strongly suspect that West has the queen of spades on this lead. Otherwise, this lead would be from King Doubleton, and that would give East 5 spades. Not likely when they've opened 3 diamonds. I don't think they're going to have 5 spades, 7 diamonds, and 1 outside card. So we could be very, very sure that West has the queen of spades for this lead, and that's good news for us. Because if we use a club to drop a spade, then we'll actually have a roughing finessing position with these spades. We'll have a void in north, and we can run the jack past west. And if they cover with the queen, we'll have a good 10. And if they don't cover, we'll start pitching diamond losers. So that certainly looks like our plan. How many entries do we need to the south hand to do that? So we take ace of spades, we play ace king of clubs pitching a spade, and we're here in this hand. And we will start playing spades to drop diamonds. If they cover at some point, we'll need a diamond entry to keep playing the spades. Can we afford to play trumps first before we embark on this? Well, we certainly have to at least knock out the spade from North's hand before we play trumps, because that spade is an exposed loser once we take the ace. So we definitely can't play trump before playing clubs. Could we play clubs, pitching a spade loser, and then play on hearts? They might win and play a diamond, forcing us to take the ace. And at that point, we would have only one other entry to our hand, the king of hearts. So we'd have to make sure that once we were into the ace, we started playing spades. But yeah, it looks like we have enough entries that we could play hearts As long as we keep the king of hearts in our hand, it looks like we could play hearts after playing the clubs. We'll leave the king of hearts in our hand. We'll play hearts until they win the ace. If they return a heart, we'll just play all the rest of the hearts out. If they return a diamond, we'll take the spade finesse as many times as we need to at that point. Because if we played out all the rest of the hearts at that point, we would end up either in the north hand with one entry to the south hand, or we end up in the south hand with no entries in the south hand. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we don't have to wait for the very end for hearts. So ace of spades, exposed spade loser. Let's take care of that right away. I guess maybe one thing of concern if we were to play hearts is the possibility that diamonds are actually 8-0. And that if we played a heart, East could win with the ace of hearts and play a diamond for a ruff. That strikes me as pretty unlikely. This auction suggests 7 diamonds and also suggests that the ace of hearts will be with lefty. But it is a live possibility. And playing spades, we probably won't have this issue. Well, maybe not. If we kept playing spades, I mean, righty also could just ruff in at that point and lead a diamond. Yeah, I'm not too concerned. I think playing hearts now is sensible. I guess it's worth asking, does playing hearts now actually protect against any danger? And yeah, it could be dangers like lefty had a singleton heart and East is going to win with the ace and try to give a diamond ruff. So I think it's sensible to do this. If they play a club at some point, am I concerned? No, not really. All the high trump in the world. Yeah, it seems okay for us to play hearts here. All right, a bunch of hearts. Yeah, is this actually? Oh, could this be the danger? That playing the hearts gives them the chance to clear diamonds before we use the spades? And now lefty has a diamond void? Oh, but righty has no hearts, as we've just seen. So that's not even threatening at all. What do we have? 7 hearts up here and 5 hearts down here. So lefty has the last heart. Okay. Seems like we're fine. All right. We still have our King of Hearts entry. So we're going to start taking our roughing finesses. If they cover, we ruff. We draw the last heart, which didn't exist. Can that count? Did I ruff once already? I didn't think so. I just bad at counting. Oh, did I have 5 hearts here and 7 hearts there and then 1 heart there? Is that what happened? Okay. Well then. In any case, we made it. Yeah, I'm still not actually counting the hearts. That would have been a reasonable thing to do. Yeah, we got 12 of those, don't we? We do. And remember, with 12 trump missing just the ace, the correct play is any trump. Yeah, was playing the heart then even protecting us from anything? In general, when there's just that one master trump out, we'll leave it there. Could they have taken it at some inopportune time? Like if righty had had the ace of hearts, could that have been annoying? Maybe, because they might ruff us. Like we play a spade, pitching 1 diamond loser. They take the ace of hearts, play a diamond. No, it seems like we're still just fine. I don't think I had to play a round of hearts. I'm gonna guess the solution probably doesn't talk about playing hearts then. Let's see. Take the king, which we win. Yep, we got lots of losers. Ace of hearts must be lost, and the diamond loser looks certain. It's true. I have a line of play that is certain to succeed. Yes, assuming that West has the Queen of Spades, which we assumed was very, 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 very much the case. 2 rounds of clubs. Pushing a spade. And we have Ruffling Finesse in spades. And yeah, they're just not going to worry about that heart. I think, yeah, whether you leave the heart or not, it looks immaterial upon further reflection. Rough whenever we play the queen. And we're good to go. We'll have to give them a heart at some point, but the diamond loser's not exposed. Cool. We did it. All right, so that has now been... how many problems is that so far? That's 36 and 15? 51 problems so far? Okay. 6 wrong at 51. All right, so a little... It's getting a little harder than round 1, you know, but not so bad. I actually took a look back at what my stats were when I did these problems in 2019. And it looks like in 2019, out of the 126 Bs, I actually got 39 of them wrong, and 9 I've marked them as very wrong, which is like I didn't figure out the reasoning for the right line of play without looking at the solution. We're definitely on pace for a better record this time. It's almost like I've learned something in the last 2 years. So that's nice to see. That's why I like keeping these stats. Also, for level 1, I had 7 wrong last time, and this time, just two and a bit. 2 wrong, 1 badly explained. So, all right, I'm learning. Hopefully, you're learning too. That's it for the first half of B2, and we'll come back next time for the latter half.